new characters, new intro, new personalities for the main characters, new time. Is this even still the same show? What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1. What's your story? I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. I was trying to think about what show to watch, and there's just that part of me that I haven't finished Walking Dead. I think I'm 2 seasons away from it. But then there was also a part of me that's like, I've not had a chance to really rage at a show. NCIS, it's frustrating. It is disappointing. The Flash was probably the last one that I really truly got to rage at because of some of the stupidity on that show. But Fear the Walking Dead is just a show that is so poorly made and so poorly written. It just brings out this anger inside of me that I get. It's very cathartic to just release it onto something like this show. So if you haven't watched a review of my first couple seasons, I don't think I did a review for season 1, but those are my thoughts, basically. You could go back and watch those videos, but I mean, the video quality is not great. The sound quality is not great. I don't edit them at all, so it's just a lot of me rambling and repeating myself, saying a lot. So I guess if you want to see how far I've come, hopefully this video is much, much better. But getting into season 4, though, I did know that Morgan joined the show at some point. I didn't know when, so I didn't realize it was the beginning of season 4. I also was not aware that season 4 was such a huge time jump, going from basically the first couple of months of the apocalypse to now I had to look it up, season 8 of The Walking Dead, which is over a year into it. I don't remember everything going on with Morgan at this point. It has been a long time since I've watched The Walking Dead, especially season 8 of The Walking Dead. So I do remember he was dealing with just the demon inside that he's trying to keep down. He doesn't want to release it and turn into this darker, more crazy version of himself, which I am curious to see if he's ever going to meet Daniel, because I do remember Daniel on this show, and I do remember he had kind of a similar story. I don't think he's gone. This first episode, it's a good one. Not perfect. There's still issues that I'll talk about, but overall, I mean, you've introduced a character and a few characters now that I want to see survive. Morgan is a good character. I want to root for him. John, good character, played by Garrett Dillahunt, who, if you've not seen him in anything else, he's a great actor. He was great in Lie to Me for his one episode that he was in there. He was great in Justified. He was brilliant in Burn Notice. So love having him on the show. I hope he's going to be sticking around for a while because he always plays these fun characters that I enjoy getting to see. And then they also introduce Al. She seems like a pretty decent character so far. So you've introduced characters now that I want to see survive. And that was the biggest problem with this show is I didn't want any of the main characters to survive. They're all terrible people that have no redeeming qualities about them. So when you start off with that concept, we're watching Morgan, we're seeing what happened to him after season 8 of The Walking Dead. It's a good start. Seeing where he is in his journey as well. I feel like a lot of these scenes with him talking to John, or more so John talking to him, a lot of these feel very realistic for where he is right now as a character. And even at the end, he's going along with them for now, but it feels begrudging. And it's only because they helped save his life. And he can't be out here on his own right now, as evidenced by the hole in his leg, the one guy that he saw in the car that was like, just leave me alone, and now he's a walker. There are several things that sort of show him, I can't do this on my own now. I cannot be out here by myself and survive. So I need their help. So it's a nice moment for him, and it's a good place to leave off his character. As I said, this was not a flawless episode. There were a lot of issues, and unfortunately, a lot of them come down to issues I've had in this show before, where it feels like, I don't know if it's the directing, I don't know if it's the choreography of some of these action scenes, I don't know what it is, but there are so many moments where characters should be dying, and they are not dying, and it's so frustrating to watch. There are some moments, because there are moments in The Walking Dead as well, where your main characters seem like they're done, they're dusted, and then suddenly, coincidentally, they get out of it. But it always feels somewhat realistic. Like Al driving up and saving Morgan and John at the beginning, or near the beginning of the episode, that feels realistic. It's coincidental as hell for her to just suddenly drive by and keep these guys from shooting them, but it's realistic. It's something that makes sense, even if it is coincidental. But then they get to the scene whenever those guys get the jump on him. It starts fine. You've got everybody, their attention is on Morgan because he's not dropping his stick, and that gives John an opening to start the fight and get them out of that situation. Maybe the guy on the roof should have done a bit better of keeping an eye on them and shooting them at the first sign of trouble, but it still worked for the beginning of the action scene. But once the walkers got introduced, that's where everything just went out the window as far as logic is concerned. And something about the walkers on the show, they're so much less deadly, unless it's side characters or enemy characters. But when it comes to main characters, it's like the main characters are tasteless for these zombies, because there are so many moments. You've got the one moment John opens the door to let the walkers out, and I know he's doing it for cover, but there's no reaction when the walkers come out. So clearly he's got no issue with them because he knows they're not dangerous to him. But none of them go for him. They all start heading that way. And I know the gunshots are drawing them, but still, one of them would look, because it's not like he's hiding behind the door. Oh, you can't see me. He's standing out in the open. None of them turn and go, fresh meat. They just all head that way away from him. He's not even bothered by it. He just runs straight through them, which is ridiculous. You got the moment whenever Morgan and the one guy fall through the ceiling and they land in the center of all of these walkers. All of the walkers go for the other guy. You got like two that kind of go after Morgan, but not really, giving him plenty of time to get away, pull the grenade on the one walker, and then get out of there, which also coincidental that one walker just happened to be wearing a SWAT vest with grenades on it, which is ridiculous. But the fact that all of them converge on the one guy is ridiculous. You got the moment whenever Al goes to the truck, which this was some weird editing because we did see the one guy, Leland, I think his name was. He goes to reach for the keys, gets bit by the snake. In the next scene, he's kicking the door of the truck open. Like, when did he get into the truck? And when did he get the keys? There was a snake guarding him. Did he just kill the snake? Like, what happened there? Cut, and suddenly he's in the truck, kicking the door, knocking Al back. She falls down. There's walkers all around. None of them are interested. None of them are interested in what's going on until John shoots Leland. He falls to the ground. Now the walkers are like, oh, food. There was already food there. Why are you guys not interested in this? And then the creme de la crap. John and Morgan are up on a car. Al gets into the truck. She's ready to pull the thing to set off the turrets. She tells them to get down. They're on top of a car surrounded by walkers. Where are they supposed to get down to? In the middle of the walkers, of course. Because as we know, when you're up on top of something and you jump or fall down into a group of walkers, they don't touch you. Tell that to Glenn and the one guy that had his insides ripped out before Glenn crawled up under the dumpster. Yeah, just all you have to do is jump down into the walkers and they won't touch you. They'll just let you go. And if somebody just happens to be by with turrets, they'll take them all out. Thankfully, the turrets hit them all in the head. That's lucky. It makes no sense. And what's even funnier to me is they shot it in a way where we don't even see them get to the ground. Like, it's an upshot of John as he jumps off the car into the walkers, and then Morgan's reaction upshot as he jumps after him as well. It's like they couldn't even think of a way for it to logically make sense that two guys jumping into a crowd of walkers and jumping onto the ground would not instantly result in the walkers going, oh, food. There was no way to do it. So they're like, well, we can't show it. We're just going to show them jumping off the car. That's it. It's so dumb, and this is something that this show has done for a long time, where you've got all these characters that should be dying, but they don't. Because either the walkers are suddenly not dangerous, or you've got characters doing stupid things. But most of the time, it's just the walkers. The walkers in the show, they do not have a taste for the main characters. And that is the dumbest thing about it. Don't even get me started on the lightning striking the walker's head in season 3. I was reminded of that when I watched my review, and it pissed me off again. But outside of that, like I said, these characters are more interesting. These characters are more likable. I want to see them survive. So all of the story in this episode was a lot better than the story in seasons 2 and 3. There's so much more about it that I'm excited to see now. Of course, at the end, they meet our main characters from the show. Surprise, surprise, our main characters are being horrible. I love the fact that Alicia's on the ground. She's like, they're bad people. It's like, where are the bad people? And then she stands up. I'm like, these are the bad people. Our main characters for the show are literally the bad guys. They're now robbing random people on the road. That's the main characters that this show has written. Hello. I don't know if the writers knew this. I don't know if this is them being sardonic. Is that the right word? Right, after doing a quick Google search, sardonic is more like cynical. I'm thinking more ironic. These writers, they're being ironic and showing that the main characters they have written, which are supposed to be the good guys, are now robbing these characters that are good people. And it just sort of shows these are the characters we're supposed to be rooting for to not die in this apocalypse. It makes no sense, and that is why the show has been so frustrating to get through. Now that they've introduced Morgan, maybe it'll improve. Maybe he'll become a main character, and some of these other main characters that are awful will either become better because they get to know him and they realize, oh wait, we don't have to be assholes. Or maybe some of them will die off and Morgan will sort of take up one of the main character roles and he'll be somebody we can actually try to support because he's a good guy. He's trying not to kill people. He's trying to survive without bringing anybody else to harm. That's nice. Even John, in the same way, is like, yeah, I don't kill people either, unless I have to. What a good guy. Most of these other characters, we will kill to get what we need. We will kill anybody. If it means that we get to survive, if it means we get resources, we get power, we'll kill anybody and we'll hurt anybody. For some reason, the show thinks those are people to support in an apocalypse thriller. To be fair, I'm kind of nervous because, again, this first episode was pretty enjoyable. And so I'm worried that now I've got a little bit of hope that bringing Morgan into the show and John and Al, they're good characters. Maybe the show will get better because of them. And that hope makes me feel like I'm going to be even more disappointed. As we all saw MJ say in Spider-Man No Way Home, expect disappointment, you won't be disappointed. That's kind of my thought process about the show. I was already expecting to be disappointed and be pissed off, and I was ready to just release some of the frustration that I have with just life at the moment and use this as like a punching bag and just get my frustration out. And now I'm sitting here going, oh goodness, and now I'm worried that I'm going to enjoy parts of it, which is going to make the frustrating things even more frustrating. And now, instead of punching out my life frustrations on the show, I'm going to be punching out my frustrations with the show on this show. And that's not going to help me with my other thing. So, anyways, a little bit of a ramble, a little bit of a rant, but we'll move on to the second episode. I'm going to be doing it a little different this time. Instead of doing 3 at a time, I'm going to be doing 2 episodes, partially because I just have been falling a little bit behind with my recordings and my reviews. So I think to try to lessen the amount of time it's going to take for these reviews, I'm going to shorten it to 2 episodes instead of 3, at least for some of these shows. If there are shows that are 20 episodes or above, I'll do 3 episodes for those, obviously. Because this is only 16 episodes, 2 episodes per will give me 8 videos. I think that's fine. I will be probably trying to get through Season 5 as well, just because I did see that Season 5 happened right after Season 9 of The Walking Dead, and that's where I am in The Walking Dead at the moment. So with all that being said, we'll move on to Episode 2. I'll see you there. And now Episode 2, Another Day in the Diamond. We'll see. Like, this is definitely not the same show that it was in the first few seasons, and a lot of that is down to these characters don't feel like the same characters from the first few seasons. You know, Maddie all of a sudden is about helping people. She's about trying to bring people in, give them a place to stay. It's not about taking stuff for herself and her family and trying to help them survive. It's about trying to help all these other people survive and trying to work to make their lives better and all this stuff. And I don't know. It just feels like they've completely rewritten these characters now to be more sympathetic. I mean, that's good. It means I'll actually maybe want them to survive now, but it does feel like a complete reversal of who they were before. So these do not feel like the same characters at all. So that feels a little weird. I will also say the Vultures do not exactly seem like the most intimidating group from the beginning here. Feels like they don't really do much. Maybe they're affecting whatever with the crops. Maybe they put the weevils in there or something along those lines. But their whole thing being just, oh, things will go bad eventually because that's just the way of life and we'll be here to pick you off once that happens. I mean, is that really intimidating? Is a serial killer scary if his whole thing about serial killing is he just waits until you die of old age? That's kind of what this feels like. And I don't really think that's intimidating. Even their whole build-up. From seeing when the trucks drive up, the one guy in the car gets on his bike leading the walkers around in a circle and then into the back of the truck and ooh, they draw the 12 on there. Is all of this supposed to be intimidating? It's a very long, drawn-out scene. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out if they're trying to make me laugh or trying to make me think, ooh, these guys, they're serious. Look at the way that they're drawing these walkers around. They know what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to go for with this group. But off the bat, they don't seem that interesting to me. Even this head guy that Madison's talking to doesn't really seem that interesting. The fact that the little girl is a part of their group, nice little twist. I did think something was weird about her, but I didn't really know what. Just some of her reactions. I guess you could argue that it was played up as a kid that was in the apocalypse and realized that she was in the apocalypse and kind of lost all hope. But for me, there should have been a bit more, I want my parents, where are my parents? And there was just none of that. It felt like she was not interested at all in trying to find out where her parents are. So the fact that she's working with them, it's a decent twist, but it's not a huge surprise. But overall, I mean, there's not really anything bad about this episode. It's just mainly the fact that they've switched up these characters so much. It feels weird. It feels weird to go from absolutely despising these characters and thinking they are the worst humans on any of the Walking Dead shows, even compared to some of the bad guys in the previous show, to going now that, oh no, they're good people. They're trying to help. Even the fact that they're attacking Morgan and John and Al at the end of last episode, we could see it's because they think they're part of the vultures, and seemingly they've lost everything, possibly by the looks of it. So maybe the vultures really did get their way. The fact that Madison's not with them, does that mean that she's been captured or killed? Like, what's going on with that? There are some questions that they did raise with this, but I can't say that I am that interested. I can't say that I'm really invested still. So they are going to have to do a lot of work to get me to care about these characters, but this is a decent start. This is a good step in the right direction, finally getting to see them do nice things. The final thing that just sort of popped back into my mind, something I did want to address as far as the time jump. Something that doesn't work with the time jump is there's a lot of stories that they were focused on in that time after the dam was destroyed. There's a lot of things going on. I feel like we're just sort of overlooking for now. They keep throwing these vague lines throughout this episode that I think are referencing something that's happened in the time between the end of season 3 and now. I'm just not a big fan of whenever shows do that, because it feels like they're just being vague to try to grab the audience's interest and be like, what are they talking about? But I feel like it's forced. I feel like it's something that is not done naturally. It's done in a, we're forcing you to be curious because we're not giving you the whole answer. Whenever they do the whole pronoun game, she's not going to be happy. Who's she? And so they're trying to keep it a mystery and trying to raise that curiosity. This is the same thing. Feel like it's kind of lazy. But all in all, though, this is a pretty decent 2 episodes, if I'm being honest. Again, makes me worried that I'm going to get my hopes up, think that I'm going to enjoy the show, and then the rug's going to get pulled out from under me. I'm going to hit my face on the floor, and I'm going to look embarrassed. But this is a decent start. I think adding Morgan in works. I think the time jump in some respects works, because now whenever they do stuff that feels like they're experts at surviving the zombie apocalypse, it makes sense because it's been at least a year instead of it's been 2 months and suddenly they're experts at this. And then the character change, even though it does feel weird, even though none of these characters feel the same as they were before, I think it's a good change. I think it's a change that makes me hopefully care about them in the future. We'll see. But all that being said, those are my thoughts on these first 2 episodes. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these first 2? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Fear the Walking Dead reviews. Also check out the channel. We have a lot of other reviews on here as well, some Let's Plays, so check those out if you have time. But until next time, hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you all later. Peace out.